Freedom, freedom. So I know that our theme for this month is really simplifying our life, and we'll read that affirmation together in a minute. I'm so honored to get to point out a couple of things that have been on my mind to you at the beginning of every month. I love that, so I can stand here and usually I'm talking about ministerial class, but that's over. Woo! So I want to talk a little bit today about personal freedom and where does that start and where does it end? I remember hearing when I was little that my freedom ends at the edge of my arm, right? And yours begins. I don't know. I don't think they took very many Science of Mind classes, whoever told me that. But something happened to me this past week, which was really irritating. And and so, you know, I have 3 jobs. I don't know if you guys know that. I have 3 jobs, 3 kids, 1 dog who's really old and grumpy, but he's a sweetheart. But so when I can rest, like any time that I can get some rest, I'm taking it. I'm all over it. So Saturday morning, I go to yoga, but I don't have to be there till 9, which is like a luxury for me because I'm always up at 6 during the week. So Saturday morning, I like to sleep till like 8, or 7:45. That's like a real treat. So it's been really hot, right? The last couple of weeks. I live in a kind of a quiet area. And so normally I can leave my windows open, get the breeze coming in, sleep that extra 45 and a half minutes. And so it was about 10 minutes to 6 in the morning on a Saturday a couple of weeks ago. And there was some kind of engine that started somewhere in my neighborhood. I don't know what it was. A small airplane or a tractor or some sort of a bus. I don't know what it was, but it was like leaf blower and weed whacker meets, speedboat. It was severe. Okay. And my window was open, right? And I have the dual glazed, if it had been closed, maybe I wouldn't have, been so disturbed, but I was disturbed and I was irritated. This is my one day to get my 45 and a half extra minutes of sleep. So I lay there for a few minutes waiting for it to stop. And it didn't stop. It just got louder. So I did what any sort of, new reverend does. I slipped on my Victoria's Secret silk bathrobe. And I walked out to my balcony, and I saw exactly where it was coming from. And it was some massive, giant vehicle from another planet. I don't know what it was. It was a big, big honking thing. And I waited for a lull in the... And there was like a lull. And so I said, "Do you know what time it is? It's 10 minutes to 6 in the morning. This is my only day to sleep." And the guy sort of looked up, towards my direction. What the heck is... I don't know. I thought I heard something, but... went right back to his thing. Heard nothing at all. And then I was like, okay, that's clearly not working. So I could throw something in that direction, but nah, that's not very reverend-like. It's not even, not even for beginning Science of Mind. That is just not something we do. So I abandoned that idea. So I went back to bed, threw off my Victoria's Secret silk bathrobe, and just lay there, closed the door, and just sort of steamed about it. Have you ever done that? Yeah? So, and then eventually, of course, I prayed, about it. But I sort of had to sort of stew and steam and get really irritated and upset. So my personal freedom, I felt, was violated by some person with a gigantic engine polluting the airwaves of my beautiful, quiet home area with this giant engine. So what do we do? What do we do in that case? We can steam and stew like I did. Yeah, it works for a minute, but then it just doesn't feel very good. Then we can go into prayer, which it's really hard to get from the screaming into, okay, now I'm knowing the truth. Okay, I'm really knowing the truth now. But, we have to figure out how to get there, right? This is what we do. This is, who's in charge of this mind anyway? It's not the guy with the giant machine down there. I'm supposed to be in charge of it. So personal freedom involves the freedom to make our choices. What do we want to look like? Do I want to look like some screaming middle-aged woman in a Victoria's Secret bathrobe screaming out, do you know what time it is? No, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. I was that person for a minute. But the good news is, as Ernest Holmes says when he talks about freedom, the freedom to choose is kind of the good and the bad of it, right? Because we're free to choose what we want to do and how our lives are, we can create a fabulous prison for ourselves. We can create the best limitation, the best lack we've ever seen, or the opposite. But the cool thing that Ernest Holmes says, it's not any harder to create the thing that's really beneficial, like lots of money, a fabulous job we love, a relationship that's loving and supportive and fabulous, self-expression. All that stuff is just as easy to the universe to create as the limitation and the screaming at the guy and the upset and the irritation. So we have choices to make. And, Bob Marley said, and I love Bob Marley, and you've been on the road with Ziggy Marley, so this is totally apropos. Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No one but ourselves can free our minds. So how many of you guys are ready to abandon your mental slavery this month? Right? And simplify all the complicated stuff that's irritating, that we feel like we don't have any control over, that we feel like, why did I create that? Hello, I need to take another class, I need to take a class that teaches me how not to create the stuff that I don't want in my life. And that's what we teach here. So welcome to it. We've got it going all summer long, okay? So take advantage of that and just know that you've got that freedom to choose. And like that song said, to be free. I mean, we're born to be free. We're not born to live inside our limitation. So that's all I would say to you. And then I would just say, pull out your little cards with your affirmation on it. And I'm going to read it once, and then we're going to read it together with lots and lots of meaning and chutzpah. So today's monthly card says, I simplify my life and embrace the lightness of being. Let's say it together. I simplify my life and embrace the lightness of being. One more time with chutzpah, come on. I simplify my life and embrace the lightness of being. All right, let's take that into prayer right now. Let's just know the truth together. Let's connect with that energy that's breathing us right now. It's always here. It's always our choice to be love. It's always our choice to shine that light that is who we are. So just knowing that oneness, that divine peace, that divine freedom, that universe, that energy, that love is all there is. That's everything. And it's who I am. And it's who each one here is. And online, no matter where you are, you're never separate from that one thing. So what I know is that each moment is a moment to embrace the lightness of my being. Each moment is a choice to choose the freedom of my mind, the freedom of love. Be love, bring love, shine love. Every moment I get to choose to be love. That's the truth for everyone, everywhere. So I'm just so filled with gratefulness, with abundant loving kindness for every being everywhere. Knowing this truth is who we are. I simply release my word of truth, my word of power, to this law that makes it happen. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
I was like, what? I said, oh my God. Oh my God. So now here's the thing. I don't want to judge.